Hello, good morning, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this Sunday morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. This morning, I wanted to talk about be okay with leaving old things behind. I have the courage and the strength to move on, right? As we all start to get older, and I ain't trying to preach or anything, I'm gonna make this short, but I just wanted, I like to inspire, right? Because we've all had life experience. We all have life experiences that leaves us on a roller coaster, right? Up and down, right? A lot of people call it bipolar. I just kind of call it life, because tomorrow you may not feel the same way that you feel today. We all strive and thrive. We all want to be happy every day, but just in life, in the 40 something years I've been living, I've never known a person that was just happy every single day. Okay. Even if they were happy people with good spirits, I didn't see them happy every single day. Right. And so when life gets to life, and we all get that when life starts life, and right. Sometimes it's because it's time for a transition, right? I'm one of those ones. My mom told me that I'm a creature of habit. Okay. I stayed in relationships too long because I was a creature of habit. Um, like many other people, I was taught, you get with this person, you just stay with them. Okay. So I stayed in relationships way too long. I got into things, stayed in positions way too long because they were safe. Just anything that felt safe to me. Okay. It was always really hard for me to leave it behind because I feared what was on the other side of leaving that behind. Like you walk out this door, I don't know what's going to be on the other side of the door. I was raised up around a lot of older women, so I kind of have like those real old values. Like I'm real old fashioned. Y'all probably can see that on here. Like real old fashioned. Like back at I got like some of those 60s values, right? Like in the 50s and 60s, because I was raised up around my great aunts and my grandmother and all of them, right? Very influential in my life. And hey, I listened to them saying, you know what you got, but you don't know what you're gonna get, right? And they just kind of stuck with me. And I think that resonates when I say that probably with everybody. I think that's some of the reasons why we're so afraid to leave things behind because, well, I know what I got, but I don't know what I'm gonna get. I hear women say that all the time with some of the women, some of the family members that I'm pretty close to, that I feel comfortable enough to to kind of talk to me about certain things, and vice versa, right? um we kind of talk about those things, been told the exact same thing. Well, I just stay here, I'm unhappy, rather it's a job, I don't know what I'm gonna get, I'll leave here, the supervisor gonna be worse, even though, but it may not be, right? And so I think just as of recently, probably within the last few years, right, I became okay with like leaving old things behind, right? And even like within the last year, I've been okay on this journey of just creating what I want, right? You'd be surprised just with just creating what I want. I've always been a loner. Okay, I've always pretty much been a loner because as soon as I tried to just really, I would like to be a people's person. I would love to be able to just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Um Congregate, I guess, and celebrate and be around a lot of people, but I just It's just I can't do it. And it's not because of me, right? It's because of, I deal with people. I'm very sensitive to energies. Okay. Hey, get away from over there. I'm very sensitive to energy. So when I see that people are not right, I don't really know how to fake with them or anything like that. I protect my peace now at all costs. I just kind of protect my peace at all costs. Okay. That's why when you see me on here and people start coming at me and they cross the line of wanting to violate me as it relates to my personal life, I've gotten to a point I don't say much. When I say I'm going to the law, I'm going to the law because that's what the law is there for. And I keep pushing until I don't care if it takes 10 years until that violation is dealt with. Okay. And so, but getting back to what I was talking about, you have to be okay, right, with leaving old things behind. And I think that's just something that people, with us being creatures of habit, that's just something that we don't do. We just become so complacent with, being unhappy, because it's safe. And I made up my mind, especially about a year ago. I was like, I'm not gonna be safe with being unhappy. There is nothing good about that. This is safe for me, even though I'm unhappy. I was like, I'm gonna start taking more chances, okay? Because I know that I was smart, I was intelligent. I was like, anytime I get a foothold in something, I know how to turn it into to gold. But I've always, been very, very safe. And I would say, probably with just within this past year, okay, God has really just shown out, right? Because I've taken some chances, okay? And so that's why I wanted to tell you I'll be okay with leaving things behind. I know folks say, but I've invested 20 years in this. If you've invested 20 years in something that has kept you unhappy, just because you feel like, well, I've been here now for 20 years. Ain't no need in, ain't no need in walking away. Yeah, you wasted 20 years on a job, on a relationship or whatever, and you've been unhappy for those 20 years. I would make the next 20 years my best life, right? We just kind of get complacent with being unhappy. And I think that's something that we should change. Okay. I'm not encouraging people, because I know when people come to me, I have a close relative right now that's going through something as it relates to marriage, and I love that person with my whole heart. Okay, and of course, you all know that I do private investigative work, and the majority of my work that especially I did in the past, I just made a transition into to something else as it relates to that, but it had been mostly infidelities, right? And I always made a pact with myself. I was like, I'm never going to take cases or get involved with as it relates to especially my cousins. Okay. No family members. Nothing says that I can't. I never wanted to do that because it was just too personal. And the person that has a family member that has been confiding in me as of recently, because of something that just happened to them. It tears my heart up to hear the pain of the betrayal, right? But I've never been an advocate of telling people to leave their marriages, not unless there was abuse, right? But as far as infidelity, and the person said to me, you don't have anything to say, and I go, well, I don't know what it is that you would want me to say, right? I did tell them, I said, now what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, even with the time that you have been there with that person, you talk about 9 or 10 years, which is not very long, but that is a history. Were you happy? Well, I thought I was happy. I thought he was happy. I said, but were you happy? I said, why don't you take an inventory of that? Kind of think back over all the years and ask yourself if you was happy, right? If you weren't happy, um, then I think you should be okay with leaving old things behind. But if the good outweighs the bad, regardless to what anybody says. If you think that you can deal with that infidelity, don't let anybody stop you from going back and reconciling with your husband. If you want him, you go back and get him, and don't let her have him. Okay. I've always been that type. I don't care what I say on here. I always say don't get my personality on here mixed up with my reality. Okay, people think they know you and they don't. All right. But the person came back to me, and we had some conversations, and guess what? They're gonna be okay with leaving old things behind and moving on. And it seems like since we had that conversation, so much stuff has been, you have to make up your mind to be okay. Because we get stuck in how things used to be. When we first came to a job, and it was this and that. And even when you work on a job, things start to change as management changes. Things, folks get stuck in things being antiquated. It don't mean that it's bad, because sometimes you have to update as the years go on. And some, you believe it or not, when people are old fashioned, they don't like that. I don't want to be on no computer. I want to type. You won't see people using typewriters anymore. But sometimes things change, and what we have to do is learn to change. Also, we can't stay stuck in those ways. We have to learn to vibrate. I like to say this: vibrate on other frequencies, especially if we want to go far in life. I don't know about nobody else, but I want to be a millionaire, right? And so I know in order or be very wealthy, and I know in order to do that, I have to vibrate on certain frequencies. And I think we just kind of get caught up in vibrating on frequencies that are not conducive to us, meaning having certain people in our lives and things of that nature. I was listening to a young lady say the other day, know the difference in when somebody is trying to warn you, or when somebody is trying to scare you. Okay, because sometimes people will come to you and say, I want to warn you, and I'm looking out for you, and this and that. And hey, you have to know how to decipher that. Okay, I want to warn you against that person. You know what I mean? You have to be very careful now, because you don't ever really know what issues people have had with other folks. It ain't really even got nothing to do with you, right? But they would try and paint a picture, because folks are never going to tell you what they did to somebody, right? They'll tell you how the person reacted to how they'll tell you how the person reacted, but they're not going to tell you what they actually did to that person to make them react, right? And sometimes when people come to you and hey, I want to warn you this and that. No, just be very meticulous about that. Know the difference of if they are trying to truly give good warning, or if they're just trying to put fear in your heart so that they can isolate you, or they're trying to isolate the other person. Be very, very meticulous about that, right? Because I don't let people put fear in my heart, because oftentimes the very people that, now I'm not stupid, because I know how to watch stuff. I'm not saying don't watch it. But sometimes the very people that folks have tried to, who they claim that they was warning me about, have been the very ones, okay, to be the ones that had that blessing for me to get to the next level. So always be very meticulous about that, right? But learn how to be okay with leaving old things behind, like old ways of thinking, old thoughts, that spirit of fear, all of that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to progress. Some people just got that spirit of just, I'm a hustler. I know how to get people to do this and that. They take a lot of pride in getting over on people, right? For oftentimes, they so stupid, they don't really understand that they ain't getting over on people. But they got that hustlers mentality, and it ain't the right type of hustling mentality. They take a lot of pride in, yeah, I persuaded them to do what I want you to do. They so dumb. Oftentimes, it ain't that you persuaded them to do what you wanted them to do. It was just that they had the mentality. They saw how pitiful you was, and they just wanted to help you anyways, because you can't really persuade nobody to do nothing that you want them to do. They got to want to do it. You can actually, if you got a good spirit, okay, and that person has a good spirit, they might look at you and say, listen, I want to help you. They might not tell you that, they might just do it. They might buy something from you because they just want to help you out. If you got a good spirit, they will continuously buy something from you, regardless to whether they need it or not. But people, you got to get rid of that old way of thinking if you're going to create new avenues for yourself, right? That's why I say be okay with leaving old things behind. Be okay with letting go so that new things can come into your life. And when you start ending relationships and stuff, it don't mean that they got to end on good terms. I mean, on bad terms. If you're doing it for yourself, because oftentimes if you just let go without all of the crazy stuff, you'll realize that the other person, if you're grown enough to have a conversation with them, look, you ain't happy, I ain't happy, ain't no need of us continuously making each other unhappy. Let's just go ahead and let this go. I want you to do good in life. I ain't got nobody else. Because see, oftentimes that's the issue. The person don't even want you, they just scared you got somebody else, right? I ain't got nobody else and don't have nobody else. I don't know if you got anybody else, but I don't want you to be unhappy. Let's be friends apart. If life brings us back together, maybe it's meant to be. But listen, you go on with your life. We got our kids here. We're going to co-parent. If there's some kids involved, we need to be friends based on, we need our children to see a healthy relationship based on a good friendship. Because see, the intimacy, that can't be, it ain't gonna work out. Okay. But we got to let this thing go, right? And leave that behind. And when you're grown enough to do it like that, you'd be surprised at how good things can be. Okay, you can work out all types of stuff without trying to throw daggers at each other and hurt each other when you on your real grown folk type of stuff, right? When both people can be adults, right? So be okay with leaving old things behind, because on the other side of that door, don't have the mentality of, well, I know what I got. I don't know what's on the other side of that door. It could be worse or it could be better. It could be a pot of gold. And you scared to just turn the knob because you are complacent with being unhappy. Okay. I was talking about this in another video that I did the other day. When folks say, God says that we supposed to suffer. And that's why I don't let people tell me that I'm supposed to be unhappy. I said, no, the devil is a lie. Now I'm supposed to be broke. God says, I came to give you life and give you life more abundantly. Okay. That means that being broke, poor, busted, and disgusted goes against the word of God. Okay. He says that in his word, he can't lie, right? His word should not return void, but it has to go and prosper, right? So being poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, going without, that's against the word of God, and I refuse to be. Well, you got to be. I don't have to be nothing as it relates to being poor. I refuse to be. Okay. And so I kind of hang around people that have that same mentality, even if they ain't got it yet. Girl, I ain't got it, but I'm sure gonna get it. I go, sister, that's my type right there. You ain't got it, you get ready to go get it. Go get your blessing. If it's anything I can do to help you. See, that's the right type of hustler's mentality. It ain't, yeah, I'm going to use her to come up, get something off of her, come up off. I don't deal with bitches like that. Excuse my French, and Negroes either. But I see your struggle if they're a real friend to you. Anyways, hey, what you got going on? Girl, I'm working hard. I'm trying to get this thing. I just went here. You just went where now? You know what? I know some folks over there. Girl, I tell you what, say less. I'm gonna see what I can do to connect you with that. And then you appreciate that. You get over there and you make them look good. Okay. You get over there and you make them look good and keep your mouth closed and do what's necessary to continuously advance, right? But that comes with changing that mentality and being okay with leaving old things behind, because sometimes you can't even elevate to the next level, hey, until you have left those old things behind. A lot of times there's the next level you go, I know I've been doing everything. I know I got this, I got that. I've been doing everything and I just can't elevate. Well, it could be because of some of the people that you have around you, the dead weight. When you're holding on to dead weight, you can't float up anyways. The dead weight keeps you on the ground. There are some people that are just not meant to go to the next level with you, good or bad. I know y'all were high school sweethearts, but she's jealous of you, okay? Or he's jealous of you, and your time been expired. Okay, y'all been together since y'all were in high school. You got 2, 3 children. Yeah, but I already know this person done had my back. Well, it's gonna be somebody else that's gonna have your back and make you happy. Okay, you two are miserable. You can't even go to the next level until you start to get certain people out of your life because their time was up. A lot of people just don't know the gift of goodbye. They just don't. They just and I'm one of those ones. I feel like I've been knowing this person forever. I be holding all on to, oh God, why I want to take them with me, but oftentimes they just ain't meant to go. And it ain't got to be a bad thing. It's time for you to float on. It's time for you to float on. I'm not gonna be, I can't be unhappy. Okay. Some things just run its course. It's over. It ain't got to be nothing bad. If it was meant to be, it would have um continuously provided me with those ingredients that I needed to grow, right? But now this situation is making me malnutritious. I ain't getting nothing out of it no more. It's depleting me. So I gotta move on. And it ain't got to be a bad thing. So that's why you got to be okay with leaving old things behind. And I know there are a lot of insecurities that come with that, especially when, you go, am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? You got to make up your mind that this right here serves me no more purpose. Get about doing what it is that you're supposed to do, and you will see every door. Listen to me. Every knob that you turn, it's going to be a pot of gold on the other side of it. You won't be able to lose. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Change your energy. Get these vampires away from around you. These energy sucking vampires. I don't care if it's family or who it is, how long they've been in your life. Get them away from around you. You won't be able to lose. You won't be able to lose. Okay. Anyways, you guys, listen, I've been up so long. I looked at the clock a few minutes ago. I said, is it 9 o'clock? It was only 9 o'clock. I've been up early. These puppies be getting me up early, child, just like they babies or something, want to eat. And I gotta go exercise and do some more stuff. But hey, I just wanted to drop that into the atmosphere. Change your mindset. Be okay with leaving old things behind. Okay. Be okay with leaving old things behind. Let go. Turn that doorknob and watch and see. Don't it be a pot of gold on the other side of it every time? But your energy and your vibrations got to be right. All right. Anyways, you guys, I just want to say that. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. I love you guys. I'll talk with you later.